Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to today's video, where we are going to be ranking all of the best mechs from best to worst for beginner players inside of Mech Arena. Resources are limited, and you want to make sure you're putting the resources towards the very best units inside of Mech Arena. So if that sounds like a plan to you, hit that like, comment down below. Let me know what you think of my list here. And as always, I'm your host, Arnold, aka the Termagamer, aka the Gaminator. I don't know, you guys been debating Termagamer or Gaminator? Comment down below. Most like comment, you'll get a PlayStation 17. You better believe I've seen one firsthand, and the video gaming domination is gonna be on a whole other level. Let me show you the rules for this video today, because I see a lot of videos out there that look at maxed out gameplay, but the realization is a lot of you guys are only gonna be, in your beginning steps. Week or two into Mech Arena, you're not going to be spending a lot of money, so I want to make sure I'm giving you 3-star level 7 analyses on all these mechs we're going to talk about today, and it's got to be an early accessible mech. So I'm going to show you where that cutoff point for me is for that top 10 list here. We're not going to be looking at things like we're not going to be looking at things such as the Brick House and Redox and Surge. Cheetah, way too far for people to unlock. And with mechs, we're going to be focusing on speed, health, abilities, and energy, not so much weapons. Weapons will be a different video. Weapons are, of course, very important for getting the most out of your mech, but the realization is we got to look at mechs, because you want to put your weapons and your resources on the very best units inside of Mech Arena. So basically our list is going to comprise of all these that I have unlocked, with the exception of Zephyr. Zephyr's not easily accessible for beginner players unless you're buying him. Spoiler though, if I did have to rank every single 15 mechs, he would be up there pretty dang high. Zephyr's really dang good, but we're only looking at 10, and the list kind of comprised of this. Going to our progression path, I am considering Aries to be that cutoff point. Once you get past Aries, you're starting to enter the mid-game-ish aspect of side of Mech Arena. So we're looking at Aries and everything before that. And with that in mind, let's start working from the bottom and get our way to the top. The first unit on our list is going to be Lancer. Lancer is one of the first units you get inside of Mech Arena. And the cool thing about it, it's the second fastest unit, technically third, but Shadow and Killshot are tied for number 1. So after that, it is technically number 2 on the list. But the problem that we're going to be running into right away, it's got some really low energy capacity. However, decent durability. And the highlight of this unit that really is all we have to talk about is the mobility of this unit. Unlike a lot of other units in this game, it's got decent speed associated with it, and it's able to get access to the high ground through the special ability Jump Jets, which is nice for throwing your enemies off the target or getting access to some vantage points that just aren't accessible anywhere else, giving you high ground vantage points or giving you time to recover from opposing enemies out there. But that low energy capacity is really going to hold you back in regards to putting some serious weaponry. It's kind of splitting hairs. I was debating between number 9, number 10. I'm going to put it at number 10 here, but I think you could definitely make an argument for number 9. It's got decent mobility, helping you get the control points a little bit faster if you're trying to play capture the flag, basically, inside of this game mode. But let's move on to number 9 on this list here, which, this is probably the one you could argue that maybe it should be number 10. I'm talking about Shadow. Shadow, one of the downsides, it's not exactly factored into my ranking. You don't unlock this until you get more closer to that Aries threshold, when you start moving into mid-game inside of Mech Arena. However, the biggest highlight about this unit we need to talk about is the fact it is tied for the fastest mech inside of Mech Arena, tied of Killshot. And I want you to remember Killshot, because unfortunately Shadow is going to be overshadowed by the Killshot. Low energy. It's only at 8 energy capacity at 3 stars, level 7. Let me explain energy capacities real quick if you don't understand. There are 3 classes of energy capacity in the game. You have heavy, which at 3 stars will be 16, and medium, which is going to be 12, and then low or light mechs are going to have 8 energy capacity at 3 stars. Now keep in mind, when maxed out, you basically double this number. So if you see 8 at 7 stars, it'll be 16. If you see 12, double that, it'll be 24 at 7 stars. If you see 16, it'll be 32 energy capacity at 7 stars. So you got to understand there's 3 different tiers for energy capacity. As we talked about in our video today, card in the top right hand corner, energy capacity is important for the quality and the usability of the weapons you can put on. The more energy capacity you have, the bigger and better weapons you can apply in unit. And being in the 3rd tier of energy capacity 8, you're a little bit limited. And as you saw from the graphic, dead last when it comes to health inside this game. So it's fast, doesn't put out a lot of damage, and frankly, it is very easily killable. So it's pretty much only going to be a mech you're going to want to use to quickly cross the field, getting to certain access points. If you were playing capture the flag, or I should say man point capture here. Ability, stealth. I like the Lancer's ability a little bit more. At least it's fun. Stealth for this unit allows this mech to be ignored by enemy targeting systems. And in a game that has a good amount of aim assist, you know, it's helpful. I'm not gonna say it's not helpful, but it's something you're not gonna feel the immediate impact, unlike every other ability in this game. So with that, it's being fast, which is cool, but not having a lot of energy capacity, being easily killed off, and an ability that's a little bit lackluster. I'm putting it at number 9 on the list, and some of you guys might even make the argument, maybe, you know what, this could be dead last instead of Lancer. Let's go ahead and talk about next on our list here, Paragon. First unit you're going to get your hands on inside of Mech Arena, and the best way I could describe this unit, it's basically your Mario of Mario Kart. It's not really excelling in any particular category per se, although it's fantastic with energy. It's considered a heavy mech, and for an attacker, having 16 energy at 3 stars is pretty dang good, which means at 7 stars, if you get that far, it'll be 32. Gives you access to pretty much any type of weaponry when you max it out, but at 3 stars, you can use some pretty solid weapons on it. It's got some pretty average health, tied at number 4 with 28,100. Several units have the same amount of stats. Not a lot of variation so far with these stats in terms of health. And as I said, the main highlight of this unit is really just going to be the fact that it's got some pretty decent energy capacity associated with this unit right here, which allows you to do some pretty fun stuff in regards to putting some serious weaponry on this unit. Other than that, I'm not seeing you keeping this unit around for a while. Once you get access to other attackers that are going to have some pretty good energy capacity of similar levels, being a medium style tech when it comes to capacity, or heavy, I should say, you're going to quickly phase out. But for the first while you're playing inside of Mech Arena, definitely better than things like Lancer, in my personal opinion. Let's go ahead and move on to number 7. And as I like to call it, toss a coin to your MD Mechs aplenty. I don't think this mech is used enough in the game, and we're going to explain why in a moment. MD coming in at number 7, the only team healer mech we currently have inside of the game, and I wish it was just a little bit better. It's got decent speed, number 3 in speed so far inside this game, which is nice. So it's able to move around a little quickly, but as you see, it is in the 3rd lowest bracket for energy capacity, only having 8 at 3 stars, 16 at 7 stars. So you're not able to put really the biggest type of weaponry on this unit here, and it's got decent health, again tied at 28,100, it puts it at number 4. However, what's the problem I have with it? Let's bring you on over so you can see what's happening here. The problem with MD is this ability. The ability is the defining factor of this unit. But as you see, yes, it repairs damage to all friendly mechs within a field radius, which is fantastic. However, it's suppressible, which means it doesn't work while under attack. And that's really when you want the heal the most. When your team's under attack, you get them inside the field, try to heal them up as much as possible to keep their gunfire, keeping the fight alive as long as possible. So that means if you want this to work, you have to be in a situation where there's no action going on, or you got to retreat from the action and heal up. So it's definitely usable still, but not as usable as you would like it to be. I hope MD gets a buff down the road, but if you do see someone run this, they're not able to get some top scores on the board most likely, but they're going to help you get top scores as much as possible. Moving on here, let's go ahead and talk about number 6 on the list, one of the more recent units inside the game, Arachnois. Now, when we took a look at the progression path, you may notice you cannot technically outright get this via progression path. In a weird way, this is considered a legendary unit. When you first come into the game, you have about a week or so to get this mech completely free. Definitely possible getting this mech for free, and it's interesting. I'm still getting a feel for it when I unlocked it. I'm not sure if it's going to have a permanent home inside of my arsenal, but I like using it because it's kind of the legendary unit inside of my roster. It is dead last in terms of speed. Number 7. 14 kilometers an hour, very slow. However, it's considered a high. It's got a high threshold for energy at 3 stars, 16 energy, max out 32 energy, health pretty par on average, 28,100. So it's got decent survivability, high energy, and I consider they have a 3rd weapon. You need to have as many weapons as possible at your disposal, and with the Arachnois, you're also getting ability that allows you to get a turret. And the benefit of the Arachnois' spider turret is it's great for covering you. When you're focusing fire in front of you, you can deploy a turret and it's going to cover you. So in case someone comes around, tries to sneak up on you, it'll go ahead and cover you for a short, brief time or assist you in targeting an enemy that's in front of you, which is nice. So it's like a third weapon. So you have high energy capacity, allowing you to put some serious weaponry in this unit. You got a spider turret, which is nice, but it's very slow. So you're not going to be the most agile unit on the field. Probably when you're trying to capture a post, you're probably going to be the last one at the start of the battle to get there and might not get any credit for capturing a post. Still learning about this unit for a legendary style unit. I think it could be a little bit better, but nonetheless, I think this will be a unit you'll be using for a little bit of time, and especially when you first unlock it, it's kind of cool. It's your first little pride and accomplishment award inside the game. Let's keep it moving. Let's talk about number 5. We are entering the top 5 list for best 5 mechs for beginner players here. We got Aries coming in at number 5. Now, Aries, unfortunately, has got some stiff competition with the tanks. This is the first tank we're talking about on this list today, and with Aries, it is a little bit on the slower side, not the slowest, not nearly as slow as the Arachnois. 18 kilometers an hour. It's got the same energy as the Juggernaut, which is 12, but putting in the second category of the medium tier mechs when it comes to energy capacity. But number 2 for health, 37,400, and that is one of the selling points. This is a very durable mech, the second most durable mech in this category of the top 10 beginner mechs that we're talking about, and it's the ability that's really going to define your love for this unit here. And let's talk about what it is about this unit you really want to make sure you're getting the most out. This shield is going to be critical. You actually might argue you like this more than Juggernaut, and it's really going to depend on your playstyle. With Aries, you have this wide shield, which allows you to cover a big portion of the front in front of you, and you're able to shoot through the shield. And furthermore, it allows you for your teammates to kind of follow you, let you be the portable riot shield moving down a hallway, closing in on a capture point. So that's the upside of this. The downside of this ability is that you're exposed from behind. So if someone sneaks around you, you have zero protection behind you. So if you're someone that wants to kind of lead a whole team into battle, covering them while you're the first one going into the fire line, this is going to be the mech for you. However, if you want something that gives you the best of both worlds in terms of the offensive and defensive side of the spectrum, you're gonna go for a different mech, and that is going to be the Juggernaut. Now, this guy's coming in at number 4. You get this one pretty early on as well, and frankly, I think you're going to be using this mech for a good amount of time when you first get access to it. It edges out the Aries in terms of the most health. At 3 stars, that's 42,100 health, has the same amount of energy, slightly slower though, 16 kilometers an hour, just slightly faster than the Arachnois, which is at dead last. And unlike the Aries, it's a little bit of the inverse. Instead of shielding your whole team, it's shielding yourself. And let's take a look at it, shall we? So with this unit, the reason why I say it's kind of the best of both worlds, you're getting a little of the offensive and the defensive. 12 energy capacity at 3 stars. You can put some decent weaponry on it. At 7 stars, it gets to 24. So you can put some decent weapons on it, but you got one of the most durable units inside of the game, which allows you to go into battle, into the heat of the action, dead center, taking lots of fire, while you have some decent weaponry to return fire right back at your enemy. Only down to this, it's not a shield that the rest of the team can use, but this at least covers yourself from all aspects. So if someone's behind you, it gives you time to react and turn around without really taking any damage to your health. So I think Juggernaut is going to outrun Aries a little bit in terms of viability, but as I said, depends on your play style for deciding which tank is going to be for you, Aries or Juggernaut. And the benefit is Juggernaut is a lot more easily accessible than Aries, which is going to take a little bit longer to unlock free to play. That was the last unit you can really, Aries is the one that made the cutoff barely to get it on this list here. We're going to top 3 mechs inside of the game, and number 3 is basically going to be your early access Zephyr in some way. The Guardian. The Guardian's got some pretty serious stats that I love. Slow. It is slow. 16 kilometers an hour. It's number 6 on the list. Not as slow as Arachnois, but still pretty slow. However, it's got the highest energy capacity available in the game. It's in the first tier of energy capacity, being in the heavy tier with 16 energy available to you at 3 stars, and that means at 7 stars, that'll be 32, giving you access to tons and tons and tons of weaponry to throw on this guy. And look at that health, number 3. We talked about the top 2 with Aries and Juggernaut. An attacker comes in at number 3. So this is an attacker that's got some serious firepower associated with it. Some decent durability as well. And on top of all that, it also has a pretty solid ability. System crash. It kind of, it sometimes gets equivocated with the Zephyr. Zephyr's got a pretty great ability, but unfortunately not easily accessible unless you're spending a little bit of money early on. Being able to shut down effects, disabling weapons, and putting enemies' abilities on cooldowns, oh, that can completely throw someone off, especially when you're in the heat of an action. You just go ahead, you shut them down, they can't do anything. It's great. It's got pretty much a great all-around experience. Solid damage, solid health, and it's got a pretty decent ability. This is a unit you're definitely going to probably have in your roster for a good chunk of time. Zephyr's pretty similar, but Zephyr, yeah, it's going to take a while until you get to that point. So that's number 3 on our list. Moving on to top 2, and I'm going to be straight out honest. For me personally, this is my number 1, the Panther. I love the Panther. This is the unit I'm using the absolute most right now inside of Mech Arena. It's just got so many great things going on for it. Personally, the reason why I love it is it's not that slow. It's pretty average in terms of speed, 20 kilometers an hour. It's got the number 1 energy capacity threshold. 3 stars, you got 6 energy. 7 stars, you got 32 energy. So it's considered a heavy mech in regards to energy capacity. Durability, it could be better. 23,400, not as bad as Shadow. Not very good in that regard. However, the special ability is really what's going to kind of override your concerns when it comes to health with the barrier here. Let's take a look at it, shall we? I love this unit because it's so flexible for a variety of situations. What I personally love is that this unit is more of a unit you're going to sit back, throw some long arms in this guy, snipe fools from across the map, set up your post, put up the barrier when someone's trying to close the gap on you or trying to snipe you as well. Or it's also very supportive for your team. If you're trying to cover your team, you could throw this down a hallway, covering points that your enemy might be at, allowing them safe patches through a hallway. Or when there's a firefight, throw up the stasis barrier and you're going to cover your whole team, and you all can shoot through the barrier while your enemy can't shoot through the barrier. Now, do note, you can shoot over the barrier if someone has mortars, for example. So that is the weakness of the barrier, but for most situations, this barrier is fantastic. And I love the fact that Panther is easily accessible towards the beginning of the game. No real reason to unlock it by spending money to get this unit early, because you're going to get this unit pretty early on. Fantastic. I love it. Great energy capacity. You're going to put some serious weaponry on this guy, and pretty good in all other regards. But we got to talk about number 1 on the list, and that's going to be Killshot. Killshot, in my opinion, when I put aside my love for the Panther just for one moment, mathematically speaking, I think Killshot's going to be the best all-around mech inside the game for brand new players coming to Mech Arena. It is the fastest unit tied with Shadow out there. However, unlike Shadow, it's got better energy capacity. It's got the 2nd tier energy capacity, medium energy capacity at 12 capacity at 3 stars, whereas Shadow only had 8. So Killshot's got access to more weaponry than Shadow does, and it's got better health than Shadow. Not dead last, 23,400. That is usable at 3 stars. So fastest mech in the game, good energy capacity, and it's also got a great ability. I would also consider it to be kind of like a 3rd weapon inside the game. The melee dash is great, and it's not just a weapon. With the melee dash, you can use it to quickly get to a capture point as soon as possible. Close the gap between you and your enemy. Retreat from battle, or if you're reloading, instead of waiting for the reload, you can just go guns blazing and use the melee dash, or just go down in a blaze of glory. If you're about to die off, you can pretty much kamikaze into your enemy and take the most out of your low health that you might have remaining on Killshot. It just gives you a lot of flexibility, the speed, great access to a variety of weaponry out there. That's not gonna crimple before your eyes. You're gonna get a lot of use out of this guy. I think this is going to be a unit that people are going to be using for a long time, beginning, mid-game, as well as end-game. Killshot, man, you're going to get a lot of use out of this guy. So that's going to wrap it up for the video today. That is all of the best beginner mechs, in my opinion, ranked from best to worst inside of Mech Arena. Let me know what your guys' lists are. Maybe you disagree with me. Maybe you agree with me. Some other tips you might have for a lot of these mechs. They would love to hear your thoughts. Thank you so much for stopping by. If you enjoyed the video, like, comment down below on your thoughts, and be sure to subscribe so you're not missing a thing. And as always, I need your controller, your Wi-Fi password, and your credit card. And most importantly, I'll be back! Yeah! Party Richter! Party Richter! Down, 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 down. Party Richter! Party Richter! Son of a bitch! Party Richter! Party Richter! Down, down, down. Shut up.